make the big step up and transition into being a competitive ATP Challenger player? If you watched my last video, I told you how I won 2 back-to-back ITF 15K events in El Salvador, getting 30 points and over 150 positions on the ATP ranking, getting pretty close to the top 500 ATP. Now, for my next string of tournaments, I was going to try my luck in some ATP Challenger. The sort of tournaments that players like Aliassime, Darderi, Stan Wawrinka, just to name a few, play from time to time. Obviously, those top players play the best categories of Challengers, which are the 175s, and I was playing the lowest level of Challengers, the 50s. My ranking as of now allowed me to get into the qualifying draws pretty consistently, so I didn't want to waste any time and decided to give it a try. So I traveled to the Greek island of Crete, where they held 2 Challenger 50 in a row. Welcome to this new video, guys. Today we're in Heraklion, Greece, playing 2 50K Challenger events, and this place is quite insane. Let me show you. This is the view from my room. Pretty hard to remember that you're playing a tournament here and not on vacation, but we'll do our best. I've been to this resort before playing a 15K tournament, but conditions this time were very different. It was much hotter, less windy, and we used different balls. So I hit the practice court a day earlier to see how they would play, and immediately ran into some problems controlling the ball, which seemed to persist throughout the practice. I know I said it wasn't windy like 10 seconds ago, but this practice day it actually was pretty windy, luckily not on match days. So that's why maybe I had some trouble with the control, but also the sound these balls were making was weird. It seemed like they were exploding, I don't know. But anyway, I had a pretty standard practice, rallying from the back, playing points, you know the drill. Let me know if you want like a video dedicated in detail to how professional practice is. Maybe not right before a match, but like in a training block. I feel like that could be interesting, but you guys have to let me know if you'd like that. But anyway, went on to do some volleys and following that serves. Again, not the best practice session, but luckily how you practice before a match is not always correlated to how you play. Alright, just had breakfast, and now it's time to go and do the warm-up for the warm-up. So the physical warm-up before the tennis warm-up. Every time I come out, it's so bright. My eyes. This is an upwards view, pretty insane. For a tennis tournament, I mean, have to keep the focus up. Right, so I had my lunch, and yeah, looks like I'll be on in an hour or so it's time to head to the club. My opponent for the first round was a Lithuanian wildcard ranked around 1000 ATP. So good player, but still a bit lower level than players that you could typically find in these challengers. So good chance to get adjusted to the conditions as well. Now, we were playing on center court today, which was completely different from the practice courts. It literally got resurfaced 2 days earlier, so it was very slow, very bouncy, and impossible to slide on because quite rough. So those would all be issues I would run into. You can see quite a few shots here at the start, and I'm not positioned well, as the ball doesn't come towards me as I thought. And also here when I serve, how high the ball bounced. I take that point to go up 40-30, and then off his serve, apparently there was a weird bounce, but I take the first game. He double faults to 15-30 to put me at 30-all. You can see here straight away that I can't slide on that running slice as I usually do, but I had to take little steps to slow down, and here again I can't quite slide, and it was very difficult for me to defend this way. In terms of my opponent, I was able to look him up and see how he played a little bit, and saw how the forehand was his big weapon, but on the backhand side he was weaker, and would make more mistakes. Often he would also slice it to be safe. So I knew obviously my aggressive style of play would be the right strategy so that I could move it around first and he would have to defend. But these starting games I was just trying to risk a little bit less and not make 3 mistakes, because it was easy to lose timing and struggle with a high risk style of play on these courts. I take that game to go up 2-1, and a 15-all here, the first big shank of the match. For pure solidarity, the next point I throw in a big shank of my own. He gets up 40-30 and looks to close the game. The 15-all, I hit my first ace. 30-15 now, and this point is the essence of what I was going to try to do really. Without risking too much, I would try to lock him into the backhand corner and look to push him out of that side as much as possible, like I do with this backhand. This forehand is not what I was hoping for though, so I hit this down the line and get pretty lucky. Once again, so bouncy here, he's returning at shoulder height, and my serve isn't even that big. And I'm looking to close the game here, and do so in fashion with another big shot. Now that I had established a better timing and felt more comfortable on the court, it was time to try and put some pressure in his service games, and maybe take some more risks when suitable. We're 15-all here, and he hits this kind of drop shot, which I get to, and direct down the line. He throws up this forehand lob, which annoyingly is absolutely perfect. Shortly after, it's 40-15, and with a 1-2 punch behind me, he makes it to 3-all. It was refreshing to be able to play serving normally. If you saw my last video, you'll know that my first serve in the last 2 tournaments has been absolutely awful, with percentages as low as 29% in the set. So it was a relief that it went back to normal, I guess you could call it. On hardcore, playing with a first serve helps a lot. .24-ball rally here where I get pretty lucky, and shortly after I have my first break point. Oh! He misses wide. Yeah. A good serving game there. Balls were 1 game old, so a bit faster, and I'm able to take the first set 6-3. Yeah, first set. A bit too much there, and he takes the early lead in the second. Good approach and volley there, gives me the first point. I had to play the back of them more spin than usual and more height over their net because I kept missing. But I do it successfully here with a winner. I still wasn't fully used to the court. Sure, I was making a lot of balls now than at the start, but I was playing more to rally and accepting to hit more shots than usual on average. And just at some points I have to be tough and physical, and I couldn't get out of the rally with a big shot, because if my timing was slightly off I would miss. Try to pass him here, but the mistrip stops me. He's looking to close out the game here, and this is when I could maybe try and put some more pressure and be aggressive, just to let him know, that I'm not gonna be passive all the time. But my striking isn't too clean, and in the end I miss. Nonetheless, we're on serve, so the situation is under control for now. A fairly good inside in, and then try to follow up on the other side, but big shank. At 15-30, a good serve though puts me back on the right track. Big point at 30-all here. Had to stay laser sharp. Got the mistake there at the end, and off the second serve, another one. At 30-all the next game, he gives an absolute gift to hand me a break point, and then a double fault the next point, and I have to break. I'm 15-30 the following game though, and try to get out of this sticky situation with an inside in, but the net strap just pulls it wide. Instead of saving the break point, a big foreign shank hands him back to break. So we need to work again now and earn that break, unfortunately. I played the worst game on serve when I needed to consolidate. At 15-30 he misses though, and so it's a big point once again. A double fault follows, and with little merit I have a break point once again. I retake the break lead, but as per standard I'm 15-30 down after. I need to find my way to a better outcome than the previous game on serve. I'm well for point, but I missed the backhand in the end. At 30-40 double fault, and once again threw the break lead away. Let's see what I can do here. You can hear from the grunting that we both know it's an important game, that we both need to win. I pass him last second there. A bit more aggressive with the forehand this point, and then I hit the inside-in winner and almost feel relief. A good serve wide, and immediately he approached to the other side. A baby slide on the reach there, and that seems to be just enough because I hit an insane lob that resets the point. Now we fight on, and I was trying to make him play backhands over the shoulder to miss or play shorter. Eventually that works. Now the game was true. Couldn't afford conceding any more breakpoints if I wanted to close the match. A long rally here, it's super important to come out of it on top. For the score, but also for the confidence in this game. A good 1-2 here, and 30-15 earns me a match point. And with the Shankometer, I take the win in my debut here in Greece, 6-3, 6-4. Alright, upside, got the job done. Downside, definitely some things to work on, but we'll talk about how I felt in a second. I felt like overall the match was not bad. I mean, completely different conditions from El Salvador, where I played at 1,000 meters. Much faster courts here, you know, this court again was super slow compared to even the practice courts on the same side, so it took a little bit to get adjusted. But you know, good to come out of it, good to have my serve back, and yeah, I was looking forward to play my next match now. Welcome to Greece day 2. Feeling good. Just had my warm-up, gym session, breakfast before, all the stuff I need to, and we have a really tough opponent today. The guy makes a lot of balls, doesn't give much away for free, so yeah, play again on center court, which is very slow, so definitely still have some getting used to it, because it's completely different from the other courts, but hopefully it'll be a bit better than yesterday, and that should be enough to, you know, put us in play and do well. Again, it's a really tough opponent, but so am I, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so once again on center court, and I think my opponent played on a different court the previous match, so maybe I would have some advantage. I start off well being love 30, but he aces me after. However, a miss gives me the first break point of the match. A missed return though, and shortly after, another one off his good serve, and it's deuce. But a better return gives me another break point, and this time I will be more careful. Still, I'm the one to miss in the end, unfortunately. My slice lands right on the line, so it's yet another break point. He takes the upper hand there as he sees me struggling a bit and wins the point off my miss. Eventually he does get up to a game point and converts it. I started not too well my service games, but with 2 good serves I'm back on track. A 4 miss and we're even. So far I was a little bit surprised by my opponent, because from what I saw before the match he seemed to play with pace, but make a lot of balls and not miss a lot. But today he seemed more aggressive, even though it cost him missing a little bit extra. So if he was going to keep that up, I might have to change my game a little bit and be ready to also play defense at times. My passing shot is just deep here, and he climbs to 40-30 in that game. The great serve makes it 2-1. Now we're getting a little bit more into the center of the action, and I knew that the adjustment time was kind of done, and I had to start being consistent with my strategy and choices. I approach on his short ball, and then on the stretch break this volley. In the end, I'm able to take the point. He goes for a little bit too much there and misses, and these are the kind of mistakes that I wasn't quite expecting out of him, but I was definitely good to collect. At this point I try not to have that happen though, and be the aggressive one. And close the game with this backhand volley. 30 love down, and he was serving pretty well so far, as he pushes me out here, and thought it was fun to include this mistake in here, the backhand that goes nowhere near the court. 3-2 then, and aside from my first game, no break chances by either, although here I go down love 30. Very bouncy serve, and immediately I look to be aggressive and be fast on his forehand, because I think he made more mistakes on that side so far. I keep the approach on the same side, and reach to hit the backhand volley, earning a way to win the point on the next shot. 15-30 now, very important point. Worst volley of the year, and now facing 2 break points. Just wide with the forehand and suddenly I'm 4-2 down. It's only really been one bad game. I haven't played worse, but sometimes one game can cause big issues. But as you can see, my ball striking was pretty good. Again, as you saw the previous day, maybe difficult to do as much damage as I would like due to the court being slow, but aside from that, I didn't feel many limitation in my swings. We get into this longer rally here at the start of the game. We both thought this ball was gonna land out, but we carry on. Luckily he misses. 15 all, good for an inside in, wins me the point. 15-30, need this point if I want some chances to win this set to stay alive. A fairly well constructed point here, but a miss. This time I get lucky with the inside in and have a chance to break back. Karma is instant though, as it's back to deuce. Another chance here off this miss. And this time, on the return, I made sure I had enough net clearance. I miss hit at the end though, still deuce. Let's see if third time's a charm this game. I decided to target his backhand and start ripping inside out forehand there. This down the line as well, pretty aggressive. And after again staying on that side, I usually would have gone inside in already, but decided to stick there one last time, and finally he gets on the reach and can make the backhand. Now he's looking to keep that momentum going, and hitting 2 aces in a row is a great way to do it. I started bluff 15 this game, and I think as I kept my momentum, he started shifting a bit more to playing defensively. As you can see, I'm able to take control of the point straight away here. And although he goes back to neutral, he doesn't do much to be aggressive himself. I take that point, and now looking to stack up another good one. Once again, you can see how he plays that conservatively, just kind of looking for depth but without too many risks. Eventually, he misses the inside in. I make his same mistake and go for too much here, but I still had 2 more breakpoints, and all I needed is one as he double faults. Now for the first time I was up in the match, and there was no better time as I could serve for the set. A pretty even rally here, up until he misses in the net. 1 point each afterwards led us to 30-15. I'm the one to miss here. Facing a breakpoint after, not ideal, but great aggressive tennis to save. And a deuce, a great backhand down the line to give me set point. Huge serve out wide, predictably followed by my favorite inside in, and I take the first set 6-4. How he played since I broke him back in the first set is kind of how I expected him to play all along. Solid, deep, but without taking too many risks. But so far he's only played like that certain phases, so I wasn't sure what to expect on the second set. But I knew for me playing my tennis and finding my way forward was the winning way, surely. And I had to keep doing that, as I do here. Early break opportunity. With some great tennis, I convert that chance straight away. An ace puts me up 30 love the next game. And even with a second serve, I was looking to do damage. Oh. 2-0 now, and I certainly didn't want to slow down. I could see he was going through a rough phase of the match mentally, so I needed to make sure I crushed him. Hardly any misses by me this phase of the match. He on the other side, the opposite. Three breakpoints here. Once again, the first one is enough. 30 all now. So far a bit more fought than the last games, but he misses the return and I can try to go 4 love now. After winning that game, I have a chance to go up 5 love. But I rush a bit too much and miss wide. So it's deuce now, and another thing he did differently from the beginning of the first set was his serve. At the start he was serving quite well and fast. However, as time went on, he started making less first serves, but also his speed dropped notably, and that gave me a big hand in starting the point in neutral or offense, more frequently than defense. It takes that game, but I wasn't gonna let that slow me down. By the way, I was a bit rowdier than usual because in the first set he started being quite loud sometimes, a little too much in my opinion, and not always when deserved, so I was fighting back with that as well. He comes to the net here and I try to pass him in all sorts of ways, but in the end gets screwed over. He decided to pick up his serve now and aced me twice. I wasn't worried though, I was playing good tennis and was confident. In no time I'm 30 love, and a good first serve gives me an easy high forward. Match point. And there it is, 6-4, 6-2 win to qualify for my first ever challenge. What a great start. Back in the room now, great win. It was a little tough at the beginning, 4-2 down, you know, kind of still getting used a bit to the court, but then as time went on, I was able to get it together, you know, figure out the timing quite well, and then put in a few variations to make him miss more, so that also helped. And then I felt like towards the end, you know, when I was upping the pace, he couldn't really hang there, so that's good. And we'll see when the draw comes out, who I'm playing, and yeah, as of now I'll just go and rest.